Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, we continue today with the chapter of the night journey from the E.H. Palmer translation. In the name of the merciful and compassionate Allah, celebrated be the praises of Him who took His servant to journey by night from the sacred mosque to the remote mosque, the precinct of which we have blessed to show Him of our signs. Verily, He both hears and looks, and we gave Moses the book and made it a guidance to the children of Israel. Take ye to no guardian but me, seed of those we bore with Noah. Verily, he was a thankful servant. So the most sacred Mecca and the furthest Mount Moriah, Jerusalem. The children of Israel, take ye no guardian but me. Seed of those we bore with Noah in the ark, verily he was a thankful servant. And we decreed to the children of Israel in the book, ye shall verily do evil in the earth twice, and ye shall rise to a great height. And when the threat of the first of the two came, we sent over them servants of ours endued with violence, and they searched inside your houses, and it was accomplished, and it was an accomplished threat. Of course, there was a time when the Persians, or actually multiple times, when the Persians were more favored than the Israelites. Then we railed you once more against them, and aided you with wealth and sons, and made you a numerous band. If ye do well, ye will do well. If ye do well, ye will do well to your own souls, and if ye do ill, it is against them. And when the threat for the last came, to harm your faces and to enter the mosque, as they entered it at the first time, and to destroy what they had got the upper hand over with utter destruction, it may be that thy Lord will have mercy on you. But if ye return, we will return, and we have made hell a prison for the misbelievers. Verily, this Qoran guides to the straightest path, and gives the glad tidings to the believers who do aright. That for them is a great hire, and that for those who believe not in the hereafter, we have prepared a mighty woe. Man prays for evil as he prays for good, and man was ever hasty. We made the night and the day two signs, and we blot out the sign of the night and make the sign of the day visible, that ye may seek after plenty from your Lord, and that ye may number the years in the reckoning. And we have detailed everything in detail, and every man's augury have we fastened on his neck. And we will bring forth for him on the resurrection day a book offered to him wide open. Read thy book, thou art accounted enough against thyself today. He who accepts guidance accepts it only for his own soul, and he who errs only against it. Nor shall one burdened soul bear the burden of another, nor would we punish until we had sent an apostle. And when we desired to destroy a city, we bade the opulent ones thereof, and they wrought abomination therein, and its due sentence was pronounced, and we destroyed it with utter destruction. How many generations have we destroyed after Noah? But thy Lord of the sins of his servant is well aware, and sees enough. Whoso is desirous of this life, that hastens away. We will hasten on for him therein what we please, for whom we please. Then we will make hell for him to broil in, despised and outcast. But whoso desires the next life, and strives for it, and is a believer, these their striving shall be gratefully received to all. These and those we will extend the gifts of thy Lord, for the gifts of thy Lord are not restricted, but in the next life. See how we preferred some of them over others, but in the next life are greater degrees and greater preference. Put not with the law other gods, or thou wilt sit despised and forsaken. Thy Lord has decreed that ye shall not serve other than him. And kindness to one's parents, whether one or both of them reach old age with thee, and say not to them, fie, and do not grumble at them, but speak to them a generous speech, and lower to them the wing of humility out of compassion, and say, O Lord, have compassion on them, as they brought me up when I was little. Your Lord knows best what is in your souls, if ye be righteous, and verily he is forgiving unto those who come back penitent, and give thy kinsman his due, and the poor, and the son of the road, and waste not wastefully, for the wasteful were ever the devil's brothers, and the devil is ever ungrateful to his Lord. But if thou dost turn away from them to seek after mercy, to seek after mercy from thy Lord, which thou hopest for, then speak to them in easy speech. Make not thy hand fettered to thy neck, nor yet spread it out quite open, lest thou shouldest have to sit down blamed and straitened in means. Verily thy Lord spreads out provisions to whomsoever he will, or doles it out. Verily he is ever aware of and sees his servants. And slay not your children for fear of poverty. We will provide for them. Beware, for to slay them is ever a great sin. And draw not near to fornication. Verily it is ever an abomination, and evil is the way thereof. So don't even approach that extramarital sex. Not just this, well, I won't do the one thing, but the other sins along the way, I'll do that. And then they changed the definition of fornication to exclude some behaviors so that they can do those too. And no, you don't even prevent that. But look at what follows here. And slay not the soul that a law is forbidden you, except for just cause. For he who is slain unjustly, we have given his next of kin authority. Yet let him not exceed in slaying. Verily he is ever helped. And draw not near to the wealth of the orphan, save to improve it, until he reaches the age of puberty. And fulfill your compacts. Verily a compact is ever inquired of, and give not verily a compact is ever inquired of, and give full measure when ye measure out, and weigh with the right balance, that is better and a fairer determination. And do not pursue that of which thou hast no knowledge. Verily the hearing, the sight, and the heart All of these shall be inquired of, and walk not on the earth proudly. Verily thou canst not cleave the earth, and thou shalt not reach the mountains in height. All this is ever evil in the sight of your Lord, and abhorred. And that is something of what thy Lord has inspired thee with of wisdom. Do not then put with the law other gods, or thou wilt be thrown into hell, reproached and outcast. What has your Lord chosen to give you? Sons, and shall he take for himself females from among the angels? You know, the light beings, the ungendered. Well, they're not gendered, so he's not going to make them female. From among the angels, verily ye are speaking a mighty speech. Now have we turned it in various ways in this Qoran, so let them bear in mind, but it will only increase them in aversion. Were there with him other gods, as ye say, then when they seek a way against the Lord of the throne, celebrated be his praises and exalted be he above what they say. With great exaltation, the seven heavens and the earth celebrate his praises, and all who therein are, nor is there aught but what celebrates his praise, but he cannot understand their celebration. Verily he is clement and forgiving. And when thou readest the Qoran, we place between thee and those who believe not in the hereafter a covering veil, and we place covers upon their hearts, lest thou should understand, and dullness in their ears. And when thou dost mention in the Qoran thy Lord by himself, they turn their backs in aversion. We know best for what they listen when they listen to thee, and when they whisper apart, when the wrongdoers say, ye only follow a man enchanted. Behold how they strike out for you parables in error, and cannot find the way. They say, what? When we have become bones and rubbish, are we to be raised up a new creature? Say, be he stones or iron, or a creature the greatest your beast can conceive, the greatest your breasts can conceive. Then they shall say, who is to restore us? Say, he who originated you at first, and they will wag their heads and say, when will that be? Say, it may perhaps be nigh, the day when he shall call on you, and ye shall answer with praise to him, and they will think that they have tarried but a little, and say to my servants that they speak in a kind way. Verily, Satan makes ill will between them. Verily, Satan was ever unto man an open foe. Your Lord knows you best. If he please, he will have mercy upon you, or if he please, he will torment you. But we have not sent thee to take charge of them, and thy Lord best knows who is in the heavens and the earth. We did prefer some of the prophets over the others, and to David did we give the Psalms. Say, call on those whom ye pretend other than Allah, but they shall not have the power to remove distress from you, nor to turn it off. Those on whom they call seek themselves for a means of approaching their Lord. Which of them him is near us, and they hope for his mercy, and they fear his torment. Verily, the torment of thy Lord is a thing to beware of. There is no city, but we will destroy it before the day of judgment, or torment it with keen torment. That is in the book inscribed, nay, not hindering us from sending thee with signs, save that those of yore said they were lies. So we gave Thamud the visible she-camel, but they treated her unjustly, for we do not send with signs save to make men fear. And when we said to thee, verily thy Lord encompasses men, and we made the vision which we showed thee only a cause of sedition unto men, and the cursed tree as well, for we will frighten them, but it will only increase them in great rebellion. And when we said to the angels, the light beings, adore Adam, and they adored, save Iblis, who said, am I to adore one whom thou hast created out of clay? Said he, dost thou see now this one whom thou hast honored above me? Verily, if thou shouldest respite me until the resurrection day, I will of assuredly utterly destroy his seed, except a few, destroy us spiritually, but Iblis was different. But he hung out with the light beings because he wasn't yet Iblis. He wasn't yet Shaitan. Some say his name was Al-Harith. Said he, begone, and whoso of them follows thee, verily hell is your recompense, and ample recompense. Entice away whomsoever them thou canst with thy voice, and bear down upon them with thy horse and with thy foot, and share with them in their wealth and their children, and promise them, but Satan promises them not, but deceit. Verily, my servants, thou hast no authority over them. Thy Lord is guardian enough over them. And certainly, amongst the voice is something that accompanies musical instruments sometimes, or stuff with musical instrument playing is often, it loses its devotion. It's even dedicated to what is wrong. And that is how the demons of a metaphysical nature take part. Their wealth, the rituals, whatever. It is your Lord who drives the ships for you in the sea, that ye may seek after plenty from him. Verily, he is ever merciful to you. And when distress touches you in the sea, those whom ye call on except him stray away from you. But when he has brought you safe to shore, ye turn away, for man is ever ungrateful. Are ye sure that he will not cleave with you the side of the shore, or send against you a heavy sandstorm? Then ye will find no guardian for yourselves. Or are ye sure that he will not send you back there in another time, and send against you a violent wind, and drown you for your mischief? Then ye will find for yourselves no protector against us. But we have been gracious to the children of Adam, and we have borne them by land and sea, and have provided them with good things, and have preferred them over many that we have created. The day when we will call all men by their high priest, and he whose book is given in his right hand, these shall read their book. nor shall they be wrong to straw, but he who in this life is blind shall be blind in the next two, and err farther from the way. And not that every people's supposed to have a professional priest, but there's, somebody's got to lead the prayers when people get together in a group. They had well nigh beguiled thee from what we inspired thee with, that thou shouldest forge against us something else, and then they would have taken thee for a friend, and had it not been that we established thee, thou wouldst have well nigh leaned towards them a little. Then would we have made thee taste torment both of life and death, when thou wouldst not have found against us any helper, and they well nigh entice thee away from the land to turn thee out therefrom. But then they should not have tarried after thee, except a little. The course of those of our prophets whom we have sent before thee, thou shalt find no change in our course. Be thou steadfast in prayer from the declining of the sun until the dusk of the night, and reading of the dawn. Verily, the reading of the dawn is ever testified to. So, remember of that the law, it's not a dispensation that, well, God wants us to be monotheist here and henotheist here and polytheist here, and or maybe not ideas of God that change, but sort of ethics is certain things are more eternal. The reading of the dawn is ever testified to. And for the night watch thou therein as an extra service. It may be that thy Lord will raise thee to a laudable station, and say, O my Lord, make me enter with a just entry, and make me come forth with a just coming forth, and grant me from thee authority to aid, and say, truth has come and falsehood has vanished. Verily, falsehood is transient. Great thing to say when traveling or establishing. And we will send down of the Qoran that which is a healing and a mercy to the believers, but it will only increase the wrongdoers in loss. Once you know and you're continuing to do wrong, it's far worse, And when we favor man, he turns away and retires aside, but when evil touches him, he is ever in despair. Say, everyone acts after his own manner, but your Lord knows best who is most guided in the way, and they will ask thee of the Spirit. Say, the Spirit comes at the bidding of my Lord, and ye are given but a little knowledge thereof. And if we had wished, we would have taken away that with which we have inspired thee, then thou wouldst have found no guardian against us, unless by mercy from thy Lord. Verily his grace towards thee is great. Say, if mankind and jinn, he says jinns, but jinn is plural of genie. Of jinni. Yeah. If mankind and jinn united together to bring the like of this Qoran, they could not bring the like, though they should back each other up. We have turned about for men in this Qoran every parable, but most men refuse to accept it, save ungratefully, and they say, we will by no means believe in thee, until there gush forth for thee a fountain from the earth, or there be made for thee a garden of palms and grapes, and rivers come gushing out amid against them. Art thou make the sky to fall down upon us in pieces? Art thou bring us a law and the angels, the unfallen angels, before us? Art there be made for thee a house of gold? Art thou climb up into the heaven? And even then we will not believe in thy climbing there, until thou send down on us a book that we may read. Celebrated be the praises of my Lord. Was I aught but a mortal apostle, not prohibited men from believing when the guidance came to them, save their saying, Allah has sent a mortal for an apostle. And, we had just gone over another allusion to the night vision.